Yes, yes. Okay, so does everyone have something in your mind that you think you're interested in researching? I don't want anything too specific. Okay, so you're just thinking of something general. It could be, you could be a dog lover. You could love the beach, anything. Okay, so just get something in your mind. And then usually if you have to go and if I say, you know what, find as much information as you can right now about global warming, what would be most of our first action, like our first action and what we would do if we had to do research? What do you think generally most kids would do if I said find out as much information about global warming as you can? What would we do?
Like look up on the internet, type it on the internet and figure out like what it is.
Okay, specifically.
What's it about?
Yeah, so specifically when you say type it in on the internet, what do we mostly rely on when we're doing that? Google, right? That's the first thing that we often do. So what I would like you to do right now is just think of your topic and type in whatever you're interested in researching, type it into Google. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so my guess is is there anyone that's willing to read how many pieces of information came up, how many different articles and videos and things like that came up? Do you all know where to find that?
Is it the top?
Mm-hmm.
Because mine says, can I say it?
Say it.
Mine says, I think that it says about 466 million results.
That's crazy, right? Okay, so what was your topic, do you mind me asking?
Yeah, it was football.
Okay, awesome. So very popular topic, right? And that's a heck of a lot of information for you to get through, okay? So how many of you have evaluated websites before? How do you discern what is a good website with valuable information versus something that might not be as reliable? Have you ever talked about that in your classes before? Yes? You don't remember? So we'll do a really quick review of that. So what I want you to do is on the back of this sheet, there is a website address that you're going to type in, and I'll tell you where we will go from here. Okay? And our goal will be to just think of some things that will be good questions to ask anytime we are evaluating a website. And this is a pretty general review of it, so it won't be hard for you to remember. So if you type in that address that is on the paper, you're going to come to, and this is a good thing to know, wherever you are, whether you're at home, in another classroom, if you want to see if you can access information about our media center, this is the link that we use, okay? So it's at the LRHSD site, and it's obviously the /, okay, CENMC, okay? So once you get there, okay, you'll see there's a lot of things available on that. You can go right to that website to access not only your grades, but email as well. Okay, and I know some of the Chromebooks get a little slow. Okay, great. So if you see on the left-hand side of that, it offers all of the different options for you to explore. If you look, we have, the online catalog, we have databases, information about the MLA formats. There's all types of different things. What I want you to do is just slide down and click on English class projects. And once you get to that, you'll go to the right and you will see that we have listed scavenger hunt. just click right onto the scavenger hunt. And it should take you to a library scavenger hunt. And this is just, again, really informal, but it's something that it's going to just really remind you of what you can do when you need to find information in our library, okay? So the first thing, obviously, you need to do, you have to put your name. So this will be submitted at the end of the period to Miss Enos. So just put your name, put your first name and your last name in the document. Have any of you ever worked in Google Forms before? Okay, you'll probably see that more and more. I thought maybe with middle school you have been using Google Classroom and maybe took a test on it. So this, what will happen is when you hit submit, it'll go directly and report to your teacher your answers, okay? And again, this is informal. It's not like an assessment of a whole lot of right and wrong. It's just showing your teacher that you were able to, you know, explore the Media Center a little bit more specifically, okay? So put your teacher's last name, if you didn't already do that. Okay, and then you're gonna scroll down a little bit past number 1 and 2, and you'll see highlighted is websites. You're gonna click on that. Okay, so you see, this is just a pretty simple document that reminds us of some of the things that are important when we are looking at websites, because that's a great place to get information on your topic. Unfortunately, we know based on all of the numbers of articles that come up and the numbers of websites that come up, one of the things about the internet that is tricky is, could you guys all create a website and post a website about anything and anyone? Do you know? Most of you shaking your head? Yeah, you could. If you wanted to make a website, you could make a website and you could post it on the web. There's no, like, nobody's necessarily evaluating every website that gets put up. And that's one of the things that students fall prey to, is sometimes they will find some information, we'll do our research, and then later realize that that website wasn't authentic. It was someone either goofing around, or it had a particular bias, meaning that they were just giving their side of the story, okay? So when we look at these, and if you click on the left, okay, we want to question, is it real or is it fake? And if you look at that first picture of the helicopter, what is your guess? Does that look real to you? Upon first glance, some of you are saying yes and some no, okay? Some yes, some no. It has an authenticity about it, yet when we really think about it, right, we realize that it's probably not real.
It looks like a painting.
Okay, it looks a little bit like a painting, because what can they do with photos now? Photoshop them, right? They can sensationalize anything, photographs. And if you look at the next few examples, you can see that. The horse and the size of the dog, okay? Obviously here, very distorted images. Okay, so people play around with them, and these are exaggerated, right? If you go to if you continue to scroll down and you see the clouds, the hands in the sky, fun and creative, but also at the same time, like, some people will take everything they find on the internet at face value. So you can just keep clicking through, and all of these are in some way photoshopped, okay? And sometimes we can figure that out. So just continue down, and if you go to, you know, we already talked about the idea that what does it take to get something published on the internet, and we know that it doesn't take much. We can all do that. But books, magazines, newspapers, databases, do you know what they need to get published? Okay, there has to be some type of, like, essentially a publisher, someone who evaluates it for academic integrity. We know that when we're looking at, you know, databases, for example, which we'll look at later, those databases, that's information on there we know had to be legitimate information. They have people who examine it and evaluate it for academic integrity. So once it's on the database, you know you can trust it, okay? So if you click down to the underneath in, the frame that says includes databases, some of the ways that you can deconstruct a website to test for reliability are asking questions. And the paper I gave you has a lot of those questions for you to take with you, okay? We always want to ask ourselves, who created the website? Who is the author? You want to be able to find one. Formats. Do you know what a .com suggests about a website? Is it reliable? Somewhat reliable, okay, but not always a guarantee, because .coms can do what? .com, like commercial. They can do what with their websites? What happens sometimes when you're researching information? What starts to pop up? Ads and things like that, right? So that there's like attached to the .coms is sometimes the ability to make some money, right?